Hey, my name's Saif Zahidi, and I'm doing my presentation over the hours of service regulation, which is included in the motor carrier's mode of transportation. Why I chose this regulation. I chose this regulation due to the fact that this regulation is important to maintain the safety of the driver and others on the road. This regulation allows drivers to not become fatigued due to the long hours of driving on the road. This regulation makes sure that drivers' health is the first priority, offering them plenty of rest to make sure that they are prepared to drive. Here are some rules and effects. Rule number one, drivers must get a 30-minute driving break. Drivers must take a 30-minute break if they have driven for 8 hours without a 30-minute break. The break can only count if they were not driving for these 30 minutes. The reason why it does not count unless they were not driving for 30 minutes is due to the fact that you want to make sure these drivers have enough rest as possible from driving. These truck drivers drive long hours at a time, and giving them the right amount of rest will make sure that they're safe on the road when driving and others are safe. Due to the fact that many accidents happen when in this field, in this transportation field, due to the fact that a lot of these drivers are too fatigued from driving these long hours. So make sure they get their break. Even if they didn't even take their 30-minute break, they still need to have a 30-minute break with no driving whatsoever. Rule number two, drivers cannot drive over the 60 to 70 hours on duty in 7 to 8 consecutive days. In order to restart the period of days, they must take at least 34 or more hours off. This is backing up my point again. Drivers drive so many long hours, they need as much rest as possible. So if they're driving 6 to 70 hours on duty in 78 consecutive days, or they cannot drive over 60 70 hours on 7 to 8 days, if they want to restart that, they must take at least 34 or more hours off. And the last rule is drivers are able to extend their maximum driving limit from 11 hours by 2 hours if there are unfavorable road conditions when driving. So their maximum driving limit is 11 hours a day, and if there are really bad road conditions, they're able to actually increase that maximum driving limit up to 2 hours due to the hazardous conditions on the road. Summary. After researching the hours of service regulation, it helped me realize how important these regulations actually are. These regulations are put in place in order to keep the driver safe and the people on the road safe as well. These drivers work long hours, and it is important to make sure that they are in driving condition. These regulations allow drivers to stay on track by giving them plenty of time off to make sure that they are mentally prepared to drive in order to protect themselves and the others driving on the roads. These drivers work long hours, and with the help of these regulations, truck drivers are more protected and the drivers on the road are more protected as well due to the fact that so many truck accidents happen due to truck driver fatigue. And with these regulations in place is giving the truck drivers so much time off that they're able to recoup, get their mind together to make sure they are ready to take on another day of driving. These regulations were put in place to protect everybody, and it is great to see that everybody is able to be protected, and with them putting these regulations in place, truck drivers are just able to do their job while knowing these regulations will always back up the work that they are doing.